Hey there, everyone. It's Gigi's Sober Son. I'm here on the side of the road on Choctawhatchee Bay, and it's just such a beautiful sight of the sunset over the bay here that I just had to pull over and go ahead and do this here reading for May 31st. AA Thought for the Day. I shall not wait to be drafted for service to AA. I shall volunteer. I shall be loyal in my attendance, generous in my giving, kind in my criticism, creative in my suggestions, loving in my attitudes. I shall give to AA my interest, my enthusiasm, my devotion, and most of all, myself. Do I also accept this as my AA credo? I like that. That's loyal in my attendance, generous in my giving, kind in my criticism, creative in my suggestions, loving in my attitudes. And it really is just about aiming up. Aiming up, looking up. When you come to AA, you start looking up. And after you come for a while, you start aiming up. And stick around long enough and you rise up. It's just not to lord over anybody. It's just how it works out. You just start feeling better and you rise up. That's just how it works, man. Meditation for the day. Prayer is of many kinds, but whatever kind, prayer is the linking up of the soul and mind to God. So if prayer is only a glance of faith, a look or a word of love, or just a feeling of confidence in the goodness and purpose in the universe, still the result of that prayer is added strength to meet all temptations and to overcome them. Even if no supplication is expressed, all the supply and strength that is necessary is secured, because the soul, being linked and united to God, receives from Him all spiritual help needed. The soul, when in its human body, still needs the things belonging to its heavenly habitation. I'm not sure I understand all of what that means. But confidence in the purpose, the goodness and purpose in the universe. There's psychologists, social psychologists that talk about it. That as we look to a power source outside of ourselves and try to lean toward the good in the world and focus on the good in the world, we're more fulfilled and happy people. That is a proven fact. And that possessions and everything going right the way we want it to go, I should say, does not make us happy. I had a job in England where I filled the same position for over 8 years. And I felt like in the end, all these additional duties that I didn't feel like were my responsibility, I managed to shed. But then it was like, okay, I pretty much got everything I wanted in the end, but now I feel like, well, that was kind of a different circumstance. I didn't have as much to put in my performance report, right? But I got everything that I wanted, but it didn't reflect well. And therefore, I didn't feel as fulfilled because I couldn't fill my performance report, basically, which is kind of weird. But anyway, I pray that I may be taught how to pray. I pray that I may be linked through prayer to the mind and will of God. And that's so awesome. I just left my church, where I recently joined the prayer team, not out of piety or that I think I'm qualified. It was a need that they had, and I stopped going to a gathering of men on Monday night called Man Cave Monday, and I've shared about this before, I'm sure, where, you know, to reach seekers and guys that may not be church people. You know, they want to show up, they want to hang out, they want to be connected socially to a group of men. And, you know, because our church, we say, you don't have to believe what we believe to come here. You know, we want to change people's perception of God by changing their perception of church, you know. And so most churches, you know, a lot of churches wouldn't serve alcohol, wouldn't provide alcohol, but that's what they do, you know, and food, and, you know, the conversation gets a little, you know, crude sometimes, you know, but that's what it's geared toward. It's just not my jam. You know, I felt really strongly about it initially, and I participated a lot. I've led it a lot, but I started feeling kind of shaky in my own recovery after a breakup, a romantic breakup, and realized that it's just not something I can participate in. And so I asked God, where do I fit in? And then I heard about they need men on the prayer team. So I'm like, okay, I don't feel qualified, God, but you're gonna have to do it, you know. So at any rate, I love that prayer. Teach me how to pray, God. And there's plenty of model prayers, as it talks about in the big book. You know, it says, be quick to see where the religious people are right. Doesn't mean they're all right by any means. You really have to test that. I think a lot of that has to go through the AA filter for me. You know, does it make sense? Does it, you know, I love where it says in the big book, we believe that God would have our heads in the clouds with him, but our feet planted firmly here on the earth, because that's where our fellow travelers are. We do not see any conflict between a life of deep spiritual, I can't remember the exact verbiage, but I do know it says, and a life of sane and happy usefulness. And that's really what I'm trying to bring into everything that I do, every service commitment or service opportunity that I have at my church. And it really is a blessing. So I'll keep coming back. I hope you do too. I love you. Look up, aim up, and rise up. Have a great day.